I think what was happening back in the early part of 2000 is the big integrated companies were trying to find ways to grow. And what was clear, if you looked at the previous 2 decades, were the big remuneration was available to you and the big returns was in the oil and gas upstream. And chemicals, in some respects, certainly within BP, had become a bit of an orphan business. Basically, pretty much everything was up for grabs at that point.
We spent a lot of time and a lot of energy getting to the point where we were a decent-sized chemical company. We'd obviously been acquisitive over a number of years, because we're talking about 2005. We started in 98, so it became 6 or 7 years. We'd done a couple of deals every year, and we'd always delivered.
We had by then developed something of a track record of buying these sort of unloved assets, simplifying the cost base, reducing the cost structure, but also then starting to develop them.
We were, in our terms, doing quite well. And then all of a sudden this BP opportunity came along.
BP decided that they would divest a key part of their chemicals business, which was Innovene at the time.
The plan was very clear. We were going to IPO it. It was going to float off into the market. We had already started the whole prospectus piece that had been running for a long period of time.
As far as the staff were concerned, as far as the management were concerned, that's what was going to happen. But in the meantime, there were very quiet negotiations going on at the top between Jim and the board of BP.
It was a really intensive process and very stressful. I remember John was working all God's hours.
Jim was on a bike ride, I remember, in Scotland, and he had to pull over in a verge somewhere and take a call from the BP finance director. The outcome of which was we're going to have to find some more money. So there was a you must be joking moment. Anyway, we went back to the banks and said, change the plan, it's not 8, it's 9.
But I mean, there's also, there is a school of thought that says, the more debt you've got, the safer you are, because, the banks can't allow it to collapse.
Suddenly the deal was done, much to the amazement, not only of people on the outside, but also people on the inside, both inside INEOS and inside Innovene.
The fact that management were not told until the day of our deal was astonishing.
We came into work one morning and heard that a company called INEOS had gone to BP, and based on the documents that we had prepared for the stock exchange filing, had decided to buy the whole lock, stock and barrel in one fell swoop.
Here we were working for a major petrochemical company. We were going to get floated in the stock market with all the unknowns that meant. And we suddenly got told that a company called INEOS were going to buy us.
That we had Google back then, we were trying to find out who INEOS was.
I think for people like me, and there was a number of people like me, there was quite a lot of excitement. Because what we saw was the rigid, almost jail-like structure that BP put around us that stopped us doing things.
One of the seniors brought me into an office and said, John, you've got a rather unique position here. You can decide, you can either stay with BP, which is where your history was in the bit that we're not selling, or you can go with INEOS. So the night I had a conversation with my wife about whether I should stay with BP Chemicals, or whether we should take a risk and go with this company we've never heard of, INEOS, privately owned, on a roller coaster adventure, and we chose INEOS. And what a good decision that was.